Hello and welcome again to Let's Play Shadows of All. This is Policy of Madness. Last time is a thing that happened and we're never going to speak of it again.
Let's do it.
This time we're going to begin our dragon slaying career with a fairly
Whatever you want.
unthreatening dragon. This is Thaxll'ssillyia? Thaxll'ssillyia. Thaxll'ssillyia? Thaxll'ssillyia is a shadow dragon, and the shadow dragon's main claim to damage is that the breath weapon from this dragon level drains, but we're protected from level drain. This dragon has a death spell. We're going to make him or her, not actually sure, use the death spell. This would probably be the best. Yeah. This should do it.
Vita mortis careo.
Okay. Now, I want to try something. Not sure if it's going to work, but this is going to be really awesome if it does work. Let's get ourselves as far away from our shadow dragon as we can reach. Okay. Never actually tried this before.
I'm waiting.
I can't believe that worked. What an amazing bug. Wow, what a bug. Okay.
Incanto. 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 Incanto.
Now obviously this is going to be ridiculously easy. Look at this.
Tell me all about it, if you say so.
All right.
In and out. Tell me all about nothing to it. Tell me all about it. Nothing to it. I'm waiting.
Unbelievable.
Of course.
I can't believe it let me do that. All right.
Yes. Tell me all about it.
Potentis.
Uh-oh. I can't tell which one. Let's see. Auto pause. Okay.
Potentis.
I'm waiting. My trap is set. Tell me all about it. I'm waiting.
Vita.
Yes. Yes.
Vita. Mortis. Carere. Vita. Mortis.
Okay. So. I wonder how many of these I have to
I'm waiting.
destroy.
Tell me all
I wonder
about
if
it.
only destroying only one of them would free me up.
Io vocio te. Io vocio te.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, if you say so.
Okay.
Tell me all about it.
So that was pretty fun. Looks like one of them got dispelled in some way. See if I can figure out how. Oh, dispel effects. Okay. Alright.
Of course.
I have to admit I had no idea whether or not that would work. I'm kind of surprised it did.
I'm waiting. Yes, if that's what you
All right.
want.
Honestly, I'm surprised that worked.
I sense fresh souls. Who intrudes upon me? More unlucky adventurers come to swell the ranks of my dark army? Bravado, of course. Your kind grows tiresome and predictable, yet you may be of some use to me. Oh, but you shall, mortal. This body that I inhabit grows tired. You shall make an excellent replacement. Come, my shades, open the porthole! This brash fool has some strength.
Now, the similarity between this speech and the speech that was given by Kala back in the Athkatla circus, especially since Kala had some shadows with him, it seems like the Shade Lord is the one who maybe promised him, whatever it was that he thought he'd been promised. Not really sure, but I always thought that these two were related. So here's Patrick. That's Mazzy's boyfriend.
Whatever you desire.
And that's all there is to that.
Is that all?
You are welcome in my sight.
So having Mazzy in your party, of course, changes the outcome of that, all the conversations and so forth. They're very different if you have Mazzy with you. Okay.
Nothing to it. Whatever you want.
I thought maybe I had to go back
Just
through
ask.
but now that I think about it, I think you can actually just walk out of this little area.
What would you like?
There's some way to just walk out of here. What is it? I thought. Ah, here we go. All right.
Nothing to it. Whatever you want.
Now we're going to have to see what we can do about getting all of our stuff back to town. And then, I don't know what we're going to do. I'll have to think about it then. The word logic is often bandied about, especially on the internet. And often, apparently, by people who don't know what the term actually means.
If you say so. Tell me all. Of course.
Take two statements. The first statement is all horses shit rainbows. And the other statement is the animal in my lap, which is making a pest of herself, is a mammal. Which of these two statements is the more logical? And maybe you're thinking, oh, this has to be some kind of trick question. And it is. The trick is that the question can't even be answered without additional information. Because logic does not apply to statements. Logic applies to methods of reasoning. Logic is... a statement is not inherently logical or illogical. It's the line of reasoning that brought you to that statement. So, let's take the all horses shit rainbows statement. Here's how we arrived at that in conclusion, okay? We say that all unicorns are animals that shit rainbows. And
if that's what you want.
all horses are unicorns. Therefore, all horses are animals that shit rainbows. The logic there is actually airtight. That logic is impeccable. It's actually in the form of a syllogism. It's called the AAA Figure 1 syllogism, or classically the Barbara syllogism.
Whatever.
There's nothing illogical about it. In fact, that's the classical syllogism. In fact, you can see even how this works. This was like oozing some kind of goo. We can't look at it now. I guess it's no longer oozing goo? Not sure. Remember when we would kill every brown bear we came across? Don't really feel a need to kill that brown bear today. If you take that statement and you flip it around and put it into a format that is no longer standard, you can maybe see more easily how airtight this logic is. If you say all horses are unicorns and all unicorns are animals that shit rainbows, therefore all horses are animals that shit rainbows. Not gonna kill the kitty. Is this a spotted lion? No, wild tiger. Wonder if he has magical paws. More dangerous than that one special named Tanari. During the Planar Sphere quest in the Abyss, that one Tanari with the special name didn't have magical weapons, but that spotted lion did. Okay. Once you flip the major and minor premises around and you put it into a format that's not standard, then you can see that this syllogism is the transitive property. You know, all members of set A are members of set B, and all members of set B are members of set C. Therefore, all members of set A are members of set C. The transitive property... What's this? The transitive property, you know, comes in a couple of different flavors. That particular flavor is like the root of them all. All the other versions of the transitive property kind of come from that one. The more specific ones, like A equals B, B equals C, therefore A equals C. You know, that's a subset of the original, or primal transitive property that members of set A or members of set B, etc. Spotted lion? Nope, giant lynx. So the logic of the statement, you know, horses shit rainbows, all horses shit rainbows, that's actually a completely logical construction. We arrived at that conclusion in a totally logical fashion. The reason why our statement seems absurd, and is absurd, is because our premises are absurd, not because our logic is bad. Our logic is perfect.
Is that all?
Oh.
I'm waiting.
Then we have the statement that I have an animal in my lap and it's a mammal. Is that a logical statement? Well, let's look how we arrived at this statement. We began with the premise that
Nothing to
mammals are warm-blooded.
it. Whatever you want.
Is there something you need? Oh, this is most joyous news.
Most joyous news that Morel is dead. Except that he will. Alright. This is kind of an irritating... Blur is not actually the spell I wanted to cast.
Yes.
We start out with the observation, the assumption, that mammals are warm-blooded, and we observe that the animal that I have in my lap is
What would
warm-blooded,
you
and therefore
like?
reach the conclusion that she's a mammal.
Nothing to it.
See, the area number here changed, and that's why we have to explore it again. I think this was explorable before. Alright. All of these would be useful things if we were actually a ranger, but of course we're not. So at best this stuff is vendor trash. Actually, if we were a ranger, we probably wouldn't use all this crap. I mean, a generic sword +1, really? So this is pretty nice. The 20% hide and shadows is good. I think that the studded armor that you get off of the studded leather armor that we could buy in Bear Ghost in Baldur's Gate 1, and that we get off of that Mavar had it in this game. I actually think that's better overall than this. So Let's go sell this shit.
Whatever you tell me all about it.
Observing that something is warm-blooded and concluding that it must be a mammal because mammals are warm-blooded is an example of faulty logic. The conclusion seems reasonable.
If you say so. Of course.
But the way we arrived at that conclusion was by using poor reasoning.
Greetings, good customer. A pearl to you. Greetings, good customer. A pearl to you.
Kind of annoying that we have to go through that dialogue every single time. Alright, let's head back to town.
If that's what you want.
I'm gonna assume that Mech is, has something to say to this.
Wow, an adventurer.
Ah, I knew it.
Whatever you Is that all?
Theatre life is never dull.
Okay.
Credo oculos.
Nothing to it.
There's a mage or a cleric or something here. Okay.
Justice shall be swift and final.
Why is she uninjured? Seems like she's just immune to magic or something. Okay. Spell ineffective. sure I understand that, but okay.
Theatre life is never dull.
Pests. Alright. There's actually a,
Whatever you want.
this form of logic, you know, where you have a premise, one thing leads
Just
to another, and then you draw conclusions based on what you observe on those things. This is so common that there are actually, there's 4 different options that you can, once you have a statement, you know, that mammals are warm-blooded, there are actually 4 different ways that you can analyze
What would you
the truth value of the warm-blooded and mammal portions, and then reach some conclusion.
Nothing to it.
Helm sees all. Know that and be judged.
Greetings.
We're talking about Helm here, so we're talking about duty. Normally I tell it to, you know, fucking shut up. But you can also beg the familiar for your stuff. And it'll hand it over. This is kind of an interesting little cloak. The 6 + 5 darts. Are actually, you know, they're +5 darts, but you only get 6, and they only last 24 hours. I mean, it's kind of a cool cloak. It's kind of a cool idea. It creates ammo for you. If only the ammo were better, and there were more of it. Alright. What are we gonna do now? Should go to the Mage Stronghold and see what's going on there.
If you say so.
If you say, well, this thing is a mammal, therefore it's warm-blooded.
Of course.
That's a legitimate form of reasoning. That actually has a name. It's called modus ponens. And there's a reverse version of that, which is also valid logic. You say, if something is a mammal, that means it's warm-blooded. But I observe that this thing is not warm-blooded, therefore it can't be a mammal. That's also a legitimate way to reason. And that's called modus tollens. Modus tollens.
If that's what you want.
The basic form of these are, well, we start out with syllogistic logic,
I'm
or
with
categorical logic. This is propositional logic, where you start out with a proposition, and your propositions are your premises,
Whatever you desire.
and you're reasoning from there.
You are welcome here.
Don't judge me. I'm not judging you, Nara. Fall behind what? Now, I thought that in order to inscribe a scroll, you needed to know the spell. Are you trying to say that these kids know Horde Wilting already? Alright. There are
Is that
also two possibilities for illicit reasoning with this basic proposition. And they also have special names. Let's check in a Darnassi hold. Probably nothing here. Maybe. I don't remember seeing that. You've got,
Nothing to it. Yes.
I don't remember seeing that. You've got, gold message. But I might have missed it. Last session I wasn't paying very close attention to what was going on in the game.
Whatever you want.
Greetings, Your Grace. Hello.
Bronwyn was a priestess of Tempest. Valiance. Okay. Yeah, except he'll charge us for them, just like any other priest. Alright.
Just ask. Tell me all about it.
The specific bit of illicit reasoning that we use to reach the conclusion that the animal that I have is a mammal is called affirming the consequent.
What would you like?
Which one should we go to first? I think we'll do this one. I don't think they see invisible at all.
Incorrect.
Die, cattle.
What goes on here? I've seen many a strange thing in my time, but the events of the past few moments tops them all.
Wonder if my magical sword can come. I bet it can't.
I'm waiting.
But it's stuck.
Whatever you want.
I'll wait for it to expire.
Yes.
You can see why affirming the consequent is illicit reasoning, because there are other reasons why an animal might be warm-blooded than just being a mammal. You know, this animal I have might be a chicken. Chickens are also warm-blooded, but they're not mammals. So to observe that something is true and therefore reach the conclusion that the antecedent, observing that the consequent is true, does not actually have much to say about the antecedent. It says that there is a possibility that the antecedent is true. We can say that the antecedent we can say that the antecedent might be true, but we can't say that it definitely is true. It's actually a logical fallacy to say that the antecedent is definitely true because the consequent is true. You can say the antecedent is definitely false and the consequent is false. Because if this thing were a mammal, it would definitely be warm-blooded, and so if we observe that it's not warm-blooded, we know it's not a mammal. We don't know what it is, but it's not a mammal. There's another fallacy called, there we go.
Ah, you have arrived. I thought you might. Best that you learn all you can of your situation before you go off getting killed.
I'm going to be kind of a dick to him because I'm hoping that I can reject this stronghold by just treating him like shit.
Good day to you.
Manus potentes ha!
There are many ways of dealing with such as you.
My reputation remains 20.
If you say so. Incur.
You're chattering thousands aware on me.
I will do what I can to help you. This must end. I cannot live under this shadow, under his heel.
Yes, it is my only concern. All right. Oh. I completely forgot about that. The other major form of illicit reasoning in this very basic propositional logic is denying the antecedent. And you can also see how this one goes false. You say, if something is a mammal, then it's warm-blooded, but this is not a mammal, therefore it's not warm-blooded. Again, it could be a bird, okay? These also kind of, you can see how they are related to the barbarous syllogism. Because the barbarous syllogism can also go wrong in the same ways. The truth value of the syllogism only flows in one direction. If your two premises are true, then this conclusion is guaranteed to be true. But the fact that your conclusion is true doesn't say anything about your premises. The fact that your conclusion is false, however, will show that you have trouble with at least one premise. In fact, this is one of the uses of logic, is to see where your assumptions and your premises are going wrong.
Of course.
Thought that dude was supposed to show up and give me his little challenge paper. Guess it doesn't matter. If you take all your assumptions, your premises, your observations, and you put them into a format of valid logic, such as this particular syllogism, and your conclusion is clearly absurd, if you put your premises into... Oh shit, I forgot to bring... Okay. Better head back to Thaxll'ssillyia. Oops. Wait a minute.
If that's what you want.
If you put your premises, your observations and assumptions into a valid syllogistic format, and you come up with a conclusion that is absurd, you know that your assumptions and your premises are also, you have a problem there. And that's one of the ways that logic can help you out. But just using logic doesn't guarantee that your conclusion is going to be true. Using logic only guarantees that your conclusion is going to be true if you are also using true premises. It is entirely possible, and in fact likely, for you to use valid logic.
Adventurer. Is that all?
For you to use valid logic, and yet come up with a conclusion that is nonsense. Because your premises are untrue. Your premises, the truth value of your premises is vital for determining the truth value of your conclusion.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Just ask.
And I think this is the last thing we'll do today.
Ready.
I'm glad I'm recording this because normally I have to take notes
What would you like?
about this dress rehearsal. But not this time. I'll watch the recording later and take my notes from that.
Nothing to it. Whatever you want.
Theatre life is never dull.
Is this important?
I am a lady of refinement, and you shall treat me as such, I am sure.
It's Zaren's lines that we need to learn.
I am a lady of refinement, and you shall treat me as such, I am sure.
You know, if someone ever came up to me and, you know, I asked, who are you? And he said, I am whatever, does this frighten you? I would have to question why he's asking that question, but, you know, this is a play, so of course she doesn't.
Is this important?
Street urchins.
You look like a good enough sort.
Alright. So later I'll have to go back and look at this video and learn those lines. Normally when I come through here I'd actually have a notepad with me.
If you say so.
So you can think of the two premises of the Barber syllogism, the major and the minor premise, as being the same as the, collectively the same as the antecedent, in propositional logic.
If that's what you
And
want.
so if your conclusion is not true,
Whatever you desire.
that is, if your conclusion is absurd, then that means that your antecedent also has some absurdity problems.
Is that all?
What that means is that your premises have a problem. One or both of your premises has a truth issue.
Nothing
Don't
to
really
it.
care. We'll do that later. Okay, so next time we're going to finish exploring this map. We're going to take these acorns to the Fairy Queen. We're going to need that when we get there. And then we'll descend into Firecrag's lair, and I don't know how far we'll get into that, but before the end of that session. And I'll probably talk some more about logic, because I'm not actually done with that. So join me then. Later.